very important. In fact, I'm going to say it's vitally important to get feedback from somebody who's been trained and has the necessary experience to guide us in the correct direction. I do not believe that a council or any elected official has the necessary experience to come right in when it's elected and make those financial decisions.
Thank you. Mr. Ray.
My feelings on this issue are very clear, and that is, first of all, I don't believe that the form of government should be changed by a vote of the council. It needs to go to the vote of the people. Second of all, the reasons I'm against the manager form of government is because the manager is appointed by the city council, and there is no accountability to the city council, to the people, to get the manager out of there if he's not doing a good job. And I'm not saying he wouldn't, but if he didn't, the only way that you can fire him is with the city council firing him. So I am for having the people be able to decide not only their city council, but their chief executive. I realize there are issues that are relevant, as far as Mark has said, about the professional training that he might not have as opposed to manager. However, I think that the accountability issue and having the people be able to decide is paramount in my mind. And I'm in favor of the mayor form of government just because it gives the people a chance to choose who is their chief executive. And the people vote on the city council, they should be able to vote on the chief executive, I think, as well. So there is full accountability. If you don't like what's being done, you can vote for somebody else next time. Whereas if it's appointed, you don't have that choice. So that's why I'm in favor of the way we currently have it. But by all means, paramount to me is let the people decide what kind of government they have. Because it's their government. They are the government, and they have a say.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon.
As far as I'm concerned, the most important thing about municipal government is delivery of services to the citizens. And I think the most efficient way to deliver services, whether they be administrative or otherwise some professional aspect of it, ought to be administered by a professional who's been trained in the field. So I'm in favor of manager council form of government. And it has, if you've done your research about it, it is effective across the nation and is going into other countries as well as a strong means whereby a municipality, that could be a city or a county, is governed. And they're very, very effective. In fact, you probably learn as you do your research that this is a truly American form of government that was invented in the early turn of the century, back turn of the century, to address the concerns of delivery of services to municipalities and counties. So there's my vote.
Thank you. Mr. Hunt.
Well, I think this is an important issue, and one of the reasons it's been a hot topic, particularly in Lehi, is because there were attempts by the city council members to change the form of government by ordinance without bringing it to a vote of the people. So I'm happy to hear that Mark Johson, for example, now believes that it's important to have the people vote on such an important change. That's how I feel. I believe that if the city government is going to change from a mayor form of government to a manager council form of government, that is a significant change. That requires the voters to decide. It requires input from the voters, and they need to decide by a vote. It's not something that the council should decide. That's a very important principle, that this accountability that Jeff mentioned is extremely important, that the mayor is voted by the people, and if the mayor doesn't do the job that the people like, the people vote him out of office and vote in a new mayor. And that's the way our system works best. It's true that the mayor may not be a professional manager of a city. Neither is the governor, neither is the president. There are important reasons why we have someone who is managing the city be accountable to the people. Now, having said that, if the people have that presented to them and the residents vote and decide to change the form of government, I will support whatever the residents decide. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Revill.
I think it was about a year and a half ago when this issue really came to fruition, and we talked about the possibility of changing the government. It was never my intent, or I think I could say talk for the council as well, that we do that by ordinance without listening to the people. That's why we had a 4 or 5 hour meeting here at the Legacy Center to hear what everybody thought and believed. We then formed a committee that was made up of very distinguished people from our community, past council members, business owners, residents, to study this issue. And they studied for 6 to 8 weeks, very, very deliberately. They traveled to different cities. They looked at different governments, and they gave us their recommendations on what we should do. Their recommendation was to change the form of government by resolution. It's been my opinion since day one that the manager form of government is the best for our community. I think that that manager would work under the direction of the council and the mayor. The mayor would then have a voting place on the council. That person would report directly to the council and the mayor, and then that decision could be made. As it is now, the manager or administrator answers to the mayor, and it's up to the mayor's discretion on whether or not that person is employed any longer. And the administrator of a city is a very, very important part of our community. I feel better that there's 6 men or 6 people looking at the future employment of this person. However, it's been my belief and my stance from day one that it needs to be by referendum or a vote of people.
Thank you. The last word, Mr. Laurence.
The most important thing that any level of government does, whether it be municipal, state, or federal, is not delivery of services or protection of your rights. Delivery of services is important, but it's all about protection of your rights. And every decision that a councilman makes needs to be based on the Constitution, whether that decision is financial or not. Every decision needs to be. I carry a copy of the Constitution with me. It's very dear to my heart. I believe in it, and I will follow it. That's one promise I can make you. What the City Council did a little over a year ago was try to take the power away from the mayor and give it to themselves. I'm all about diluting power. If we have a manager-council form of government, the power is put in the hands of the council. And nothing against Jamie, fine gentleman back there against the wall. An individual such as himself would become the manager or the executive of the city, reporting to the council. We would effectively merge the executive and legislative branches. We would take away your rights as citizens to vote for the executive. And we have to find the executive of our city back here. We voted for him. And he has the power to make decisions. He's given a certain type of authority, and that authority needs to be in check by the council, and the council's authority needs to be in check by the executive. And if we merge them, where's the check? This is a very serious issue. I have gone to the state capitol numerous times. I've fought this battle. I'll continue to fight this battle because your rights are in jeopardy. And I will do everything I can to make sure that we do not have a manager-council form of government by ordinance, which is what the city council attempted to do. It is only your right to make that decision.